Good morning. It's Wednesday, January 20th, and I'm out on the hike. Nice little flow of water in the stream here. So I've been thinking about the specific question is, when do I think that I and my wife can reasonably expect to get vaccinated? Thinking about that, I actually figured the first thing I kind of need to figure out is, when do I think that as a country we will be safe from COVID? And my thoughts on that is that it seems clear that, or seems to me that once 70% of the population in the country is immune, that we ought to be safe. Now, immune, when you think about that, it seems to me there's only three ways to get immune. Here is the flow of the water on this creek, and it's flowing nicely down that, coming down that way, making a really cool waterfall. And anyway, how do you get immune? Three ways. You get COVID and you survive. You get COVID and you die, or you get successfully vaccinated. And by that I mean that 95% of our vaccines now are effective, but 5% aren't. So that's really good, but you got to get to be in the 95% of that crapshoot. So when do we reach that? I make a bunch of assumptions, and in my spreadsheet I detail those assumptions, and they are that we've got good data on all that kind of stuff, really, on the CDC websites. And my assumption is that by March 1st, I'm given the situation till March 1st to get kind of sorted out, until we are at a phase where we are getting vaccines rolled out consistently, and we are pretty reliably able to give 1 million vaccinations a day on average. And that's the Biden plan, and etc. I'm also assuming, mainly because I heard Anthony Fauci talk about this and was very encouraging, that said we should be able to get the vaccine necessary to do that for the 100 days. And it's sort of implied, and it seems to me reasonable to think that we could keep that up, if not improve it. So my assumption is by March, that's what's happening. My assumption is that January and February are going to be weird and is kind of messed up, etc. And it'll be what it'll be. In fact, my guess is, in my model, I'm saying it will be whatever December was, and the data's out there for what December was. So I built my spreadsheet, I run it out, and I say, when do we become 70% immune? And the answer in my spreadsheet is November. So I think when we get there, hopefully all things work out, we'll be good to go. Now the real question is, when can my wife and I expect to get vaccinated? And the way I figure that, for me, is that first they got to do a good job getting to as many as possible the first responders, and then getting to the essential workers, and then getting to people who are over 18 and who have medical conditions that they've set out. And so you can see from data on the CDC website that the size of those populations. Also, then the last group that they target are people over 65. That's the group I'm in. So my thought is, once they get those first three groups taken care of pretty much, and they get half of the over 65 group, then by then I ought to have been able to get vaccinated by just really kind of keeping up with who's giving vaccines when and registering, mainly at the Austin Public Health site. So that's what I think. Now, let me just mention this somewhat sad note, and that is that my numbers say that by November, when hopefully everybody's safe, one of the reasons we're going to be safe is that there will have been probably about 1 million people who died from COVID. So anyway, hate to end on that note, but all right, bye.